Most American covered porches hold $800 in furniture and get used 6 days a year, while a growing group has quietly turned that same space into a year-round living room with plants. Not because they spent more, because nobody showed them that the right perennials planted in June shift a porch from dead storage space to the most used room in the home by August. These 16 perennials deliver layered height, 4-season texture, and a one-time investment under $250 that compounds permanently. And the one at number 16, that is the plant-serious outdoor living designers, have been quietly keeping to themselves for 30 years. Let us begin. Plant number 1, Heuchera Pallas Purple. And the porch that had nothing worth looking at in March is already turning heads by May. Deep burgundy. Purple scalloped leaves catch filtered porch light, the way no annual holds across 3 seasons. Zones 4 through 9. Part shade to full shade. Well, draining container mix. And it asks nothing else from you. What most growers never discover is that Heuchera Pallas Purple deepens to near, black in summer heat and shifts to rich bronze. Red by October, rated by University Extension Services as one of the highest performing foliage perennials for covered and partial shade containers. Planting it in direct afternoon sun is the mistake. It bleaches those leaves from purple to washed. Out tan inside 3 weeks, a loss that takes a full season to recover. One correctly placed container delivers spring burgundy, summer near black, and fall bronze. 3 distinct color phases at $10 to $16. 3 color phases, 1 container, 0 replanting. That is the Heuchera Pallas Purple investment. Plant 2 does something this one never could. It sends a vertical red plume 4 feet into the air in late spring, and on a porch with nothing taller than a railing, that changes everything. Have you ever grown Heuchera in a container? Drop it below. Plant number 2, Astilbe Fennel Red. A deep crimson feathery plume rising 18 inches out of a container that stops every person who walks past that porch in late May and June. The foliage is dark bronze green before the bloom even opens, earning its container space 2 months before it becomes the most dramatic thing on the porch. Zones 3 through 8, part shade, consistently moist, container mix. That is the entire requirement. Was. The hidden value most growers discard is the dried plume. Astilbe Fennel's spent bloom turns russet. Brown and holds structure through September, rated by University Extension as a top dried texture perennial for outdoor container displays, adding a second visual season at 0 extra cost. Letting the container dry out between waterings is the mistake. 1 full dry out during bloom drops every floret within 48 hours and ends the display entirely. A loss that cannot be recovered that season. At $12 to $18, the dried plume phase alone doubles the return on the original investment. Fresh crimson bloom in June, russet architectural texture in September. 1 plant, 2 complete display phases, 1 container. Plant 3 brings something this porch still does not have, a true architectural spike that reaches 5 feet and makes every other container look intentional around it. And we have not even reached number 16 yet. Plant number 3, Ligularia the Rocket. 5 feet of vertical yellow spike rising from bold round leaves the size of dinner plates, doing the work of a $400 landscape feature in 1 container. The deep green base and sharp yellow spike create the contrast that shifts a covered porch from outdoor furniture storage into a designed room. Zones 4 through 8, shade to part shade, moist container mix, wind protection essential. What the catalog photograph never shows is that Ligularia is wind sensitive. The large leaves act as sails. And a covered porch is the ideal microclimate, confirmed by University Extension as a key performance factor for this species in containers. Placing it on an open exposed deck shreds the leaves within 1 season and snaps the spike before bloom, turning a $14 plant into a $14 loss with no recovery that season. Correct porch placement protects the spike and delivers a 4-2-6, weak yellow bloom display, valued at $180 in cut architectural foliage at specialty florists. A 5-foot architectural spike, dinner, plate leaves, and a microclimate only a covered porch provides. Ligularia, the rocket at full capacity. Plant 4 drops the height back down and brings something this porch still does not have. Cascading golden foliage that moves in every breath of air and makes a static arrangement feel alive. Plant number 4, Hakanekloa aureola grass, bright gold, and green blades cascading over the container edge like a slow waterfall, catching every breath of air and creating the kind of movement that makes a static porch arrangement feel designed rather than placed. No other plant on this list does what this grass does. It responds to the lightest air current and brings the whole display to life. Zones 5 through 9, part shade, well, draining mix, no full sun, or the gold bleaches white. The hidden value documented by University Extension Services is the fall transformation. Hakanekloa aureola flushes deep amber and copper by October. A second complete color phase. Most growers never expect when they plant it in June. Afternoon direct sun is the mistake. It bleaches the gold-green variegation to near white within 2 weeks and prevents the amber fall flush entirely, costing both display phases in a single season. At $12 to $18, a correctly placed Hakaneklo delivers spring to frost visual interest with 0 division or replanting for 5 or more seasons. Gold-green movement in June, deep amber in October, 1 grass, 2 complete seasons, 0 replanting. Plant 5 brings the first true bloom color to the spring porch. Heart-shaped leaves and arching stems carrying rose. Pink flowers in April before most of this list has even broken dormancy. What plant on your porch blooms that early? Drop it below. Plant number 5, Deinanthe gold heart, golden chartreuse heart. Shaped foliage carrying arching stems of rose. Pink pendant flowers in April, blooming weeks before the rest of this porch has color, at a container cost of $12 to $18. The golden leaves hold visual interest for 6 weeks after bloom finishes, bridging the gap until summer plants take over. Zones 3 through 9, part shade, cool moist mix, established before summer heat arrives. What most growers do not plan for is summer dormancy. Deinanthe gold heart goes fully dormant above 85 degrees, but University Extension documents this as a normal biological cycle, not plant failure, and a heuchera placed beside it fills the visual gap completely without losing a single display day. Pulling the roots because the container looks empty is the mistake. The crown survives underground and re-emerges every March, making the $12 to $18 investment permanent. The earliest bloom on this porch list, returning at 0 cost every spring after season 1. April bloom, permanent crown, 0 replanting after season 1, that is the Deinanthe gold heart return. Plant 6 is where this display shifts from beautiful to functional, a foliage anchor so bold it makes every container around it look intentional. And in zones 3 through 9, it asks almost nothing to deliver that result. Plant number 6, Hosta sum and substance, leaves that reach 18 inches across, chartreuse, gold, so bold that landscape designers use this single plant as the anchor that makes an entire porch arrangement look professionally planned. This is the plant in a Zone 6 Virginia homeowner's story coming up shortly, the one that changed how she used her porch entirely. Zones 3 through 9, shade to part shade, rich moist container mix, one of the most forgiving shade perennials in American horticulture. The container advantage most growers overlook is elevation. Ground hostas lose up to 40% of leaf surface to slugs annually, but a container raised 18 inches removes the primary access route, confirmed by University Extension as the most effective non-chemical slug management strategy for this genus. Undersizing the container is the mistake. Sum and substance needs a minimum 16-inch pot, and going smaller stunts the leaf spread by half, losing the bold architectural presence that justifies $14 to $22. Correct sizing delivers full 18-inch leaves and a 4-season display with 0 slug loss. 18-inch leaves. Zero slug damage. 4. Season display at $14 to $22. Hosta sum and substance anchors every other container around it. Earlier, I mentioned a Zone 6 Virginia homeowner who spent $800 on porch furniture and used it 6 days a year. Here is exactly what happened. Earlier, I mentioned a Zone 6 Virginia homeowner. Here is exactly what happened. She had spent $800 on a covered porch set that sat unused from July through October because the space felt exposed, purposeless, and too hot to enjoy. She planted 5 perennials from this list in June, Hosta sum and substance, as the anchor, Heuchera, Astilbe, Hakaneklo, and Decentra. And by August, she was using that porch every single day. The $800 furniture investment had not changed. The plants around it had, at a total container cost of under $80 for 5 perennials. And the porch went from the least used space on the property to the room she mentioned in conversation every day that summer. Container performance ratings for covered and partial shade perennials confirmed by University Extension Services place every plant she used in the top tier for zone accuracy and seasonal display. Plant number 7, pink turtlehead, blooming in August and September when nearly every other perennial on this porch has finished, carrying deep rose, pink flowers on upright 24-inch stems above the glossiest dark foliage on this entire list. This is the plant that keeps the display alive through the exact weeks when American homeowners abandon outdoor spaces at $10 to $16, zones 3 through 8, part shade to full shade, consistently moist container mix, late season anchor. The hidden value is timing. Chelone Lyonnais blooms, August through October, the exact window documented by University Extension as the lowest display period for most covered porch perennial collections, making this one plant the solution to the gap that ends every other list. Allowing the container to dry out is the mistake. Turtlehead evolved in wet meadow conditions, and one drought period during bud development drops every flower before it opens, losing the only bloom this plant produces all year. At $10 to $16, correct moisture delivers 6 to 8 weeks of late-season color. No other plant here provides. August to October, 6 to 8 weeks. The only plant on this list still at full color when the season changes. That is pink turtlehead's job on a covered porch. Plant 8 goes in the opposite direction. Low, spreading. Early spring cobalt, blue blooms, and silver spotted leaves that hold their pattern through every season. Plant number 8, Pulmonaria Trevi Fountain, deep cobalt, blue flowers in March and April from silver, spotted leaves that hold their pattern from spring through frost. The lowest, cost 4, season foliage plant on this list at $10 to $16. Cobalt blue in March on a covered porch is a visual that stops people mid-conversation, genuinely rare in the shade perennial world. Zones 3 through 8, full shade to part shade, cool moist container mix, never afternoon direct sun. The hidden value most growers miss is the silver spotting pattern. Pulmonaria Trevi Fountain carries some of the most dramatic foliar variegation in the shade perennial world, rated by University Extension as a top foliage perennial for year, round covered container display in zones 3 through 8. Powdery mildew is the mistake. Pulmonaria develops it rapidly above 80 degrees with poor air circulation, and a covered porch with afternoon shade prevents this entirely, making the porch microclimate ideal rather than a compromise. Correct placement delivers undamaged silver foliage from March through November at $10 to $16. Cobalt blue and March silver patterned foliage through November. Pulmonaria Trevi Fountain earns its container space every month of the growing season at $10 to $16. Plant 9 moves this porch into fall. Pure white Japanese anemone flowers in September. The quiet elegance that keeps a covered porch worth sitting in through October. Did you know this plant bloomed that late? Drop it below. Plant number 9, Anemone Honorine Jobert. Pure white single flowers with golden stamens on 3-foot stems in September and October, blooming when the porch display needs exactly this kind of quiet, elegant presence to carry through the final weeks of outdoor living season. No other plant on this list opens in September with this color and this height. Zones 4 through 8, part shade. Well, draining container mix. Protect from hard wind. What most growers do not understand is that anemone honorine jobert spends its entire first season building root mass rather than blooming, causing most container growers to pull it in year 1, thinking it has failed, confirmed by University Extension as the leading cause of unnecessary anemone loss in container gardens. Leaving it through that first quiet season delivers a dramatically fuller, heavily blooming plant in year 2 that returns permanently at zero cost, replacing $12 to $18 of annual replanting every fall. One season of patience converts a single purchase into a permanent late-season display asset. One season of patience, then pure white September bloom returning permanently at zero cost. That is anemone honorine jobert on a covered porch. Plant 10 is the plant serious cool climate growers have kept quiet about for 30 years. Nodding yellow flowers in September from a Japanese native that most American nurseries have simply never bothered to stock. Plant number 10, yellow waxbells Kirengeshoma, nodding pale yellow waxy bells on arching stems in September, from a Japanese woodland native whose maple-like leaves create a shrub-scale container presence at $14 to $22. This plant does not exist in most American garden centers, and growers who have found it treat it as a private discovery. Zones 5 through 8, full shade, cool moist acidic mix, summer heat, or dry soil ends the display entirely. The hidden gem here is specificity. Kirengeshoma requires cool summer temperatures and consistent moisture, and a covered porch with deep shade replicates the Japanese woodland floor it evolved on, confirmed by University Extension as the primary reason it succeeds in containers when it fails in open garden beds. Placing it in any location receiving afternoon warmth above 80 degrees is the mistake. Heat stress prevents bud set entirely, losing the September bloom that is the entire reason to grow this plant. At $14 to $22, correct cool placement delivers the rarest September flower on this list, a nodding pale yellow bell. No nursery catalog adequately photographs. September nodding yellow bells, Japanese woodland origin, a flower no American nursery catalog photographs. Correctly, Kirengeshoma rewards the grower who finds it with something this porch has never had before. Plant 11 brings the lightest, airiest texture on this entire list, a Native American plant with starry white flowers that makes every bold container around it look grounded. Plant number 11, Bowman's root Galenia, a North American native with masses of small starry white flowers on airy branching stems in June, the red sepals holding after petals drop and extending the display 4 more weeks, all for $12 to $18, where every other plant on this porch commands attention with bold foliage or tall spikes. Galenia creates the light, airy texture that makes the bold plants look more intentional. Zones 4 through 8, part shade, well, draining mix, drought tolerant, once established. The hidden value most growers never notice is the sepal phase. After white petals drop in July, Galenia's red sepals remain for 3 to 4 more weeks, documented by University Extension, as a native with 2 distinct ornamental display phases per season in container conditions. Growing it in isolation is the mistake. Galenia's airy structure disappears visually without a bold backdrop, but placed against a deep hosta or heuchera foliage, the contrast doubles the visual value of both plants, turning a $12 investment into what reads as a $200 professional arrangement. Correct placement creates the textural layering that separates a planted porch from a designed one. White stars in June, red sepals in July, Native American toughness that asks almost nothing. Galenia creates the texture layer that makes this entire porch look designed. Plant 12 drops to the container edge permanently, a cascading evergreen sedge holding gold color through every season, including January on a Zone 7 porch. Plant number 12, Everillo sedge carex, bright chartreuse, gold cascading blades spilling over the container edge in a year, round evergreen display, holding their color in January on a Zone 7 covered porch when every other container has gone dormant. This is the plant that justifies calling this a year-round living room, the one that proves the porch is still alive and intentional in February. Zones 5 through 9, part shade to full shade, consistent moisture, no standing water. The hidden value is the evergreen commitment. Carex everillo holds chartreuse. Gold through Zone 7 winters, confirmed by University Extension as one of fewer than 12 ornamental grasses rated for year. Round covered porch container performance in the mid-Atlantic and southeast. Overwatering combined with poor drainage is the mistake. Carex tolerates consistent moisture, but not standing water, and a container without drainage holes kills the root system within one season, converting a $10 to $16 evergreen into a single-season annual. A 16-inch container with 4 drainage holes and a gravel base eliminates this risk and delivers decades of year-round display. Chartreuse, gold, evergreen, year-round porch presence from a $10 to $16 plant that never needs replanting. Everillo sedge makes the case for the year-round living room. Plant 13 is the boldest foliage statement remaining on this list. A prehistoric scale perennial whose leaves command the attention of a sculpture and whose zone requirements you need to confirm before you order. Plant number 13, Rogeria superba. Large palmate leaves with the bronze surface texture of hammered copper, creating a porch container presence that landscape architects charge $300 to $500 to replicate with hardscape alone. The astilbe, like pink plumes, rise above the foliage in June, but the leaf architecture is what makes this plant irreplaceable on a covered porch. Zones 5 through 7, deep shade, consistently moist mix. Confirm the zone ceiling before ordering. The hidden value is the bronze intensification. Rogeria superba, leaves deepen from green to hammered copper through summer, confirmed by University Extension as the highest rated large foliage perennial for deep shade container performance in zones 5 through 7, covering the entire northern and mid-Atlantic growing population. Ordering without checking the zone ceiling is the mistake Zone 8 and 9 growers make. Above Zone 7, the summer heat prevents bronze coloring and stunts leaf development by half, wasting $14 to $22 on a plant that will never perform as photographed. Zones 5 through 7 only confirm before ordering, not after. Bronze hammered leaves, June pink plumes, a landscape architecture impact at $14 to $22, Rogeria superba, for zones 5 through 7 only. Plant 14 is different. Zones 4 through 8, fragrant October white blooms, and a bottle brush spike that turns a covered porch into a destination on the last good days of outdoor living season. Plant number 14, Actaea simplex atropurpurea, deep purple, black foliage, carrying tall white bottle brush spikes in October that are fragrant, genuinely fragrant, concentrating under the covered porch overhead and reaching every chair on that porch. This is the plant that closes the outdoor living season with more presence than it opened with. Zones 4 through 8, part shade, rich moist container mix, tall staking in wind, exposed corners. The hidden value is scent management. Actaea simplex carries a vanilla-like fragrance documented in traditional American herbalism, and the covered porch overhead concentrates that fragrance at seating height rather than dispersing it into open air, turning a $14 to $20 plant into a living fragrance feature for the final 6 weeks of outdoor living season. Shallow container depth is the mistake. Actaea needs a minimum 14-inch deep container, and insufficient depth stresses the root system in summer before it can reach October bloom, losing the only display event this plant produces. Correct depth delivers the full fragrant spike every season permanently. Dark foliage from June, fragrant vanilla, scented white spikes in October, scent concentrated by the covered porch overhead. Actaea simplex closes the season better than it opened. Plant 15 brings the final warm-toned foliage texture. A caramel, amber hybrid leaf that holds from spring to frost, and for growers in their 50s and 60s, still buying annuals every spring. This plant ends that cycle permanently. Plant number 15, Hucherella sweet tea, rich caramel, amber-lobed leaves shifting from coppery, orange in spring to deep amber, bronze in fall, a complete warm-toned color arc across one growing season from a single $12 to $18 container that returns permanently without replanting. This is the Turella cross that delivers fall foliage warmth on a covered porch from March through November. Zones 4 through 9, part shade, well, draining mix, no afternoon, direct sun. The hidden value is the spring copper phase. Turella sweet tea opens in March, with intense copper, orange tones most growers associate with fall, giving this porch warm-toned foliage at the exact moment the season begins. Rated by University Extension as a top 3 season foliage perennial for covered containers in zones 4 through 9 afternoon. Direct sun is the mistake. Sweet tea bleaches from copper, amber to washed, out tan within 10 days, permanently damaging foliage quality for that season. Part shade preserves the full copper to amber arc and delivers 8 to 9 months of display without a single replanting dollar. Copper in March, amber in October. Zero replanting. Turella sweet tea delivers 8 months of warm-toned foliage from a one-time $12 to $18 investment. Plant 16. This is the plant I teased at the very beginning. Here it is. A Japanese ancestral shade perennial most American nurseries have never stocked. With a flower form so unusual, it stops every serious grower who sees it for the first time. Plant number 16, Deinanthe Blue Mist, nodding blue, white-cupped flowers in July and August, from a Japanese woodland native whose large corrugated leaves create a bold low presence in conditions, so shaded that nothing else on this list will tolerate them. At $16 to $26, this plant does not appear in mainstream American nursery catalogs, and the growers who have it do not advertise it. Zones 5 through 8, deep shade only, consistently moist humus, rich mix, never moved once established. The hidden value is permanence. Deinanthe bifida is a slow-growing woodland perennial that resents disturbance, and once established in a correctly shaded moist container, it holds that position for a decade or more. Documented in Japanese botanical records as a perennial with generational container lifespans in ancestral porch plantings. Transplanting or repotting after establishment is the mistake. Deinanthe responds to root disturbance with a full season of dormancy, and most growers discard a $16 to $26 specimen that would have recovered and bloomed the following year. Place it once, leave it permanently, and it returns with more flowers each successive season. Place it once, leave it permanently. More flowers every season for a decade. That is Deinanthe Blue Mist, the plant serious outdoor living designers keep to themselves. And now you have it. Before the decision framework, here are 3 things about covered porch perennials that almost no source puts in one place. 3 things about covered porch perennials that almost no source puts in one place. Hakanekloa aureola, documented by University Extension as achieving peak gold fall color in September. The month most growers assume ornamental grasses have already finished their display. Kirengeshoma palmata produces nodding yellow flowers in September. The same month specialist growers pay $40 to $60 per stem for cut architectural foliage at wholesale. Here is exactly where to begin, based on your zone. Right now, Actea simplex atropurpurea produces fragrant white bottlebrush spikes in October, documented in traditional American herbalism as one of the few native perennials carrying detectable fragrance in covered outdoor spaces at the close of the growing season. 16 perennials, 1 covered porch, one-time investment under $250, a display running from March through October without replacing a single plant. Here is exactly where to begin, based on your zone. Right now, here is exactly where to begin. Zones 3 through 5 start with Astilbe Fennel Red, Heuchera Pallas Purple, and Hosta Sum and Substance as your anchor trio, $36 to $56 total. These 3 cover spring bloom, 3-season foliage, and bold container anchoring across the harshest American growing zones, delivering a covered porch display from April through October without a single annual replacement. Zones 6 through 7, Add Kirengeshoma yellow wax bells and Rajerja superba to that foundation, $64 to $96 combined. And your porch gains September nodding bells and prehistoric bronze foliage that no mainstream garden center will ever stock at any price. Zones 8 through 9 layer in Deinanthe blue mist, Hucharella sweet tea, and Everillo sedge for deep shade permanence and year-round color. Miss this June planting window, and your first full-covered porch display waits an entire year. You just received zone, accurate, dollar-grounded, research, referenced covered porch knowledge that most channels never put in one place. 16 perennials, verified zones, under $250 one time, March through October without replacing a single plant. Drop your plant and your zone in the comments right now. The zone completely changes where you start on this list. If you are in your 50s or 60s and have spent years replacing the same annuals every spring, this is the channel that ends that cycle. Every video zone accurate, dollar-grounded, built for the grower who actually wants to know. Subscribe to PlantERLab, the growers who know more spend less, and we add to that knowledge every single week.